sinners, meant for an afterlife of fire, brimstone, and pitchforks. And if you at all care about your soul, if you want a chance to avoid these fiery gates of hell, then you need to put your faith into JC. You know who I'm talking about. The Dark Lord of Synth, Mr. John Carpenter. While often revered for his works on Halloween and The Thing, I believe John is criminally overlooked on some of his other titles that deserve recognition. That's the case with today's film, folks. Not only is this my favorite John Carpenter movie, this is my favorite Jamie Lee Curtis movie. We are talking about the 1980 horror thriller, The Fog. These are the kind of horror pictures I love discussing, and they are the necessary stops on the road to Halloween. And here you are, doing all the necessary stops with us to become the spookiest son of a bitch you can before October 31st. So, let's get serious here, boys and girls. Tensions are high and visibility is low. Together, we will make it out of this storm, hopefully alive. So without any further introduction, here is our take on The Fog. Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey, and back again for another week, clapping them cheeks, the best producer in the whole wide world, Mr. Ozark Mark. Ozark, what's happening down there? I see you're in a sweatshirt. I'm in a sweatshirt. Something's happening.
That's correct. Something is happening. We are officially in fall. Thank God. Because here, I'll tell you this, the last day of summer was yesterday when we're recording this. And it was 90 fucking degrees yesterday. It was 90 degrees.
Really warm.
Yesterday. And today, it was only a high of 70. It's getting down into the 40s. My windows are open. I have a hoodie on. This is fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. Now,
Mark,
I'm not excited.
It was like 90-something.
Dude, it was.
I mean, I like the heat, but holy shit.
Yeah, that's too hot. But I can't see my breath yet, so I'm not fully happy. But it's nice. I love the cold weather. It feels fantastic. That's what I got here. So, we are almost to October here on this sloppy road to Halloween, Mr. Christian Ramey. And we got another banger. You can't have a road to Halloween without throwing in a classic from the man himself, Mr. John Carpenter, correct?
That's right, man. And also, we got a little bit of something always fun about natural, the elements or natural disasters or, when weather turns against you. That just always kind of works. It's always kind of fucking creepy because it's a thing that's a little bit truthful. There's a little bit of truth beyond if it's like, oh, there's a tornado. Well, that's actually scary. Like, that's not a ghost or, like, that's not a paranormal thing. And this isn't that. This is The Fog.
The Fog.
The Fog. What The Fog does... Well, let me tell you more about The Fog. Let me tell you about The Fog.
Look, when you say The Fog, I feel like it's like a slow person trying to say frog.
It's The Fog. The thing about The Fog, what happens is, it doesn't come alone. It brings a whole band of, let's call them what they are, ghost pirates. These are ghost pirates that come to mess up this little town. I just kind of want to jump into the synopsis. For the folks that haven't seen this movie, let me put it out there. This is probably my favorite John Carpenter film. Like, I haven't really, chiseled down the list like I have with Wes Craven and all the others, but love John Carpenter, obviously. This is probably my favorite John Carpenter movie. There's a whole fucking bunch of reasons here. Let's run down this. So, first off, all the great band and crew that we all know.
we all know. First off, just on the behind the camera end, we got John Carpenter. It's a Deborah Hill production. And then you got Tommy Lee Wallace. Okay, bro. Like these guys, I mean, they made the movie we talked about last week, okay? Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. Starred the same actor, Tom Atkins. But he loses the mustache in this movie. Did he throw you off without a mustache in this?
He did.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on, that's the same. Yep, that's Tom Atkins.
So there he is again. We have Jamie Lee Curtis, and honestly, probably my favorite role of her in horror. I just love her in this movie, her character. Not that I love Laurie. I do love Laurie Strode. I mean, I love, excuse me, Prom Night, Terror Train. I love all these movies. But something about The Fog really just is close to my heart. And what you got? Adrienne Barbeau, however the hell you say her name. John Carpenter was married to her. That's the that's old sexy Stevie Wayne up there in Spivey Cove.
Up there,
KB. What is that? Spivey Point or Spivey Cove?
I think, man, look, I'm telling you, I think she just should have done her regular voice. I think it would have been a lot hotter over the radio than her little radio voice that she does.
Oh, really?
It's no KB.
I kind of liked it a little. I liked it. Spivey Point is what it was.
Spivey Point.
I kind of liked it. Okay, but here's the thing. We've got all these band of characters, and then even Rob Bottin, the makeup legend. He worked with John Carpenter on The Thing. I mean, he's legendary. He had a small role in this, and then he's also did all the makeup in here. And then you have, at the time, Nancy Loomis. Her name has since changed, but I mean, she was Annie from the original Halloween. She's the girl, Annie. You recognize. I'm sure you recognized her immediately. But she was, Halloween 3 as well. I hate when people say things, and they usually do it to directors they don't like Rob Zombie. Like, he uses the same people in all his movies. It's like, all directors do that, dummy. Like Sandler, Scorsese, Tarantino, Carpenter. Like, they have their band of merry men and women, and they stick with it. And then, you learn to love, that's what those movies are. Like, you go in, if you're watching an Adam Sandler movie, you kind of know what to expect. You know which crew to expect. You feel this with those 80s John Carpenter movies. You're like, oh, man, I need a little Tom Atkins in there. Maybe, Jamie Lee Curtis. But on top of that, we have Janet Leigh, okay? Did you reckon the old lady in here, okay? Well, she wasn't old, but she was like the mom. And she's like the real estate lady. Legendary from Psycho, Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. So you got mom and daughter, same movie, both horror legends. Halloween had already come out at that point, so her daughter got a little bit of cred, but she wasn't beating down the door with offers yet. So John Carpenter says, look here, you could be in The Fog. And then after that, she did Terror Train and Prom Night. She got, cemented forever as a scream queen. And that's why she is who she is. But to give a little rundown, I guess, like I said I was going to do. So we have Antonio Bay. Is that what the...
Antonio Bay.
Yes. So that's where the story takes place. A small little town in California. All right? So back in the day, this town had some bad history to start off. All right? And that's where we're going to start off. So there was 6 people who founded the town. And what these people did when founding the town, there was another really rich guy that was on a ship that had lepers, like a bunch of sick people that wanted to come over and start civilization with them. And they didn't want that to happen. So they burnt down this ship or attacked this ship and killed all of those people and sunk it and took all the gold from the ship to start up this new town. So their town started off in bad ways, on bad blood. And when the fog rolls in on the anniversary of this town's birthday, however many years, these ghosts of these pirates dudes on the ship come back, and they want their gold, and they want to take revenge. And they want to take the 6 people the descendants of the families that started this town. Very Nightmare on Elm Street-esque with the, this obviously came out before, but, I'm coming for the family line of the people that fucked me. Yeah, your parents burnt me. I'm coming for you, and you, and you. Same kind of thing. That's what these ghost pirates are doing. I like ghost pirates. Some of the special effects in here, they're sweet, man. The colors, it's just, and the score. Obviously, you're dealing with the John Carpenter score. Whenever you get one of his movies, you know you're dealing with one of his scores. It's usually some power synth, but my man knows what he's doing. And there's I don't want to say vibe, but there's just a total feel or a taste that a John Carpenter movie has that nothing else really has. And this is when I think this was after Halloween. I know Halloween gets praised as this top. And that wasn't his first movie, but that's this like first home run with horror. I think this is, with this being after, I feel like he was comfortable. They had a little bit more money. They knew what they were doing. I really love The Fog. It's a lot of fun. So I want to dive into this. I'm assuming this is probably your first time seeing this, Ozark?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I enjoyed it very much. I liked it. I liked the story. I liked the premise. I liked the effects in it. I liked that. Just an enjoyable movie. Not very long. It was great. It held my interest through the whole thing. Let me ask you this. I know there was a remake of The Fog. I don't know if it was an exact remake or what it was, but I don't. Yeah, wasn't it like supernatural or something?
Yeah, it's just not good.
Yeah, it's not the same premise as this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Not good at all.
Yeah, I liked this premise way better. It made sense.
Yeah, and ghost pirates are fucking cool, dude. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there, man. Like, there's something cool about these dudes because they're like mummified and they never show them fully. And what you do see, they're super creepy. Some have glowing eyes, and every time they step up on the scene, glass starts breaking, fog starts pouring in, the temperatures go down, clocks are breaking, all this crazy stuff's going on. I like that. It's I don't know, it's really fun. And I also liked that the lighthouse aspect too of Stevie Wayne being up on the lighthouse, being the radio DJ of the small little town, seeing what's going on, and like her position of kind of being safe in a way, safer for a moment, but she's like telling the whole town. It was just fun to me over the radio. I liked that whole little aspect. And then we have to mention, all right, what did we say about Tom Atkins last week when we were talking about Halloween 3? When he was in bed with that girl, what was the creepy question he asked?
How old are you?
That's right. Let's move forward to The Fog. He bangs Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, hey, by the way, what's your name? After they've been hanging out, they've had rides, the whole ride together. They've clearly fucked. And hey, what's your name? Tom Atkins wins like the most ballsiest award for like, ballsiest questions to ask women in bed. Like, you're like, damn, dude. He had that like old man, and that was without the mustache.
Yeah, but what would the question nowadays be? You know what I mean? You get there like, what's your credit score? What do you ask him?
Yeah, that's just really funny. He's so funny because he's like old school, but he's like really direct and stuff. Like when he saves the kid from the fog, like the kid's in this house and the fog's pouring around it, and this ghost dude's at the door breaking it in. Tom Atkins breaks the window out of the room where the kid is in, and he says, hey, kid, get out now. Like, there's no like, hey, buddy, you got to come over. Hey, kid, get out now. Like, he's just yelling at him. Like, the whole time he just has like direct orders, and it's very funny. Like, that's the funniest part to me, watching him just, this place is a zoo. Like, he's that way in his movies.
Talking about the radio station in the lighthouse, though, I feel like that would be super cool, man.
Yeah.
To own that. But I tell you what, dog, all them stairs, did you see on them stairs she had to go down? Like, just going down. Like, I feel like your legs would get tired just going down those stairs. There were so many stairs to get from the gate to that lighthouse.
No more leg days needed.
And then it was towards the end of the movie where she was up there and she was talking over the radio about like, Andy, I'm sorry I couldn't, be there. I had to be here. It's like, nah, bitch, you just didn't want to run up all them damn stairs. You weren't going to make it in time anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't have made it.
Dog.
You weren't going to make it.
No, but there's a shit ton of stairs. That would be the only shitty thing.
No more leg days. You just have to, do upper body. I don't even know if you'd have to do cardio anymore.
No.
Doing all that.
Probably not.
That's too much. But it would be fun. I would like to hang out up there, burn down, hang out with my friends,
just
listen to the jazz.
Yeah, just be a jazz DJ up there. That's a cool little gig. Makes me want to go to a bay area, find a lighthouse, and start a radio station.
I like how when she called out, she's like, all right, everybody out there, if you look out to your east, there's a mass of fog coming in. And he's like, the dudes in that boat at the beginning were like, mass of fog?
And he's like,
no mass of fog.
And then look, hey, there's some fog.
Oh, wait, there is a mass of fog. I don't know why that part's so funny to me, but those guys got messed up.
They did get fucked up. And the one guy that was down there in, like, the control room, like, after the other of them got murked, and it's dark, and the ghost pirate walks through the door, and the guy's just saying, so Utah, what'd you get, wet? And then he just gets murked.
What'd you get, wet? I did love that too, man. That's something about the way they talked back then. It was just, there was a funny way to them. These movies are very comfortable to watch, in my opinion. And I think this one falls in that super underrated category. You always hear about a lot of, you hear about The Thing, you hear about Halloween, obviously. I feel like The Fog doesn't rank as high, and you don't hear people talk about The Fog as often. And you're like, dude, it deserves its respect, especially you got Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Atkins,
Well, it does.
Rob Bottin.
I don't think it gets as much credit as the other ones that you've mentioned do, just because of the villains. Like, this is more town and story based, versus it's focused on the villains, which are the ghost pirates. I mean, you only see them for a quarter of the movie. Not even that. When you got there's no iconic character. Like, nobody's talking about Jake the Pirate.
That's true.
Even though he was great, but he's not the Michael Myers or the alien thing, or, from The Thing, or anything like that. So that's why I think people don't gravitate to it more than those, but it's still a great story. Like, if they made a remake of this, the same, like, actual premise, like, made a remake of this same story, I think it would be good.
I do like.
I don't think it's going to be as good as the original, of course, but I feel like a bunch of people that never seen The Fog and won't watch old movies, if they did a modern version of this, same premise, like, almost all the way through, I think people would really like it.
Yeah, I do too. And it was a successful movie. I mean, the budget was like $1 million, and it made like $23 million. So, I mean, it won over quite well. I mean, just a superstar cast. And, what's his name? Hal Holbrook, the guy who played the old, like, priest guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He was in the movie Wall Street. He's very fun. He's a lot of fun.
I love in the beginning where the guy's cleaning up the church for him. I guess it was his altar boy or something. He's Father Malone's in there drinking, getting ready to pour some wine. He's like, I'll need you here at 4:00 tomorrow. Or he's like, I'll need you at 3:00 tomorrow. And the guy goes, Father, can I get paid?
You know who that guy is?
He's like, why don't you come in at 6 tomorrow? No, I don't know who that guy is.
That is young John Carpenter.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
No
he
way.
disliked his acting so much in it. Like, I hope he hears that you like that part, because that's totally random, and you did not know what I'm about to say. But he totally hated himself so much, or, like, not himself, but hated his acting in there, because he says, like, I was in a scene with the legendary actor, and he said, I felt like a dumbass, like, just saying lines. He said, I didn't feel like the guy, I didn't feel like I belonged in the same room. I felt like he belonged. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a Carpenter guy. I looked at it like, oh, shit, John Carpenter. But you watched it as this random guy, and you enjoyed you appreciated what he was going for.
He's like, Father, can I get paid?
Yeah, like, yes, young John Carpenter.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it was the not superb acting. I don't know. I just liked it. I thought it was a funny part.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. Lots of people, it's funny because she actually asked me the other day. She's like, "Don't you get tired of like listening to your own voice?" Because I have to edit each episode twice.
Yes.
Not so much audio anymore. The audio is not too in depth, but the video, like I have to watch this entire video and listen to it and make cuts and all that. But it's not as bad talking as it is music. Music was a lot different. Music, when you're trying to like do music and stuff like we did, hearing your own voice it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's hard to mix your own voice, but talking is a lot easier and bearable.
Yeah, because you don't really even care if your like voice cracks. Also, you're not alone, I would imagine, but I don't know if you're the same way. But I mean, you work on the episodes a lot sooner, but I feel like right now, if we were to click on an episode from a year ago, I'd have no idea what the fuck we were about to say. Like,
Dude, I didn't.
I don't like
either.
No idea. Like,
No.
I mean, I remember some key points, obviously like the what do you know facts, the knowledge I know about the movie, we don't lose that, but in the sense of what the hell we are talking about.
Nah, dude, the random things that we say get me every time. Like, go back like a year, just click on a random episode. There's just shit in there I totally forgot about.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite part of this movie, though, Christian? Rainy. The fog.
A part that I really enjoyed and really liked. So, this isn't a what do you know fact. This is just a common fact. Like, there's a lot of different names. Like, in these early movies, before John Carpenter and all of his gang of pals were fucking famous, like, he just named all of his characters in his movies his buddies' names. So, like, Tom Atkins' character is Nick Castle. That's the guy that he's an actor, and he worked with John Carpenter. He was Michael Myers. There was a few people who played Michael in the first movie, but he was Michael Myers. And that's Nick, Tom Atkins' character. So there's quite a few situations like that, but Charles Cyphers, he plays Dan O'Bannon. And Dan O'Bannon, that's the guy who made Return of the Living Dead. Old film buddies, right? So, but Dan is the weather guy that would call Stevie, and those two would call each other back and forth. Stevie's working at the radio station, and when she'd need a weather report, Dan would call her up on the phone, give her weather reports, and he would flirt with her, and I guess she would kind of toy with him, but they just had a fun relationship on the phone. And one night, like when the fog's rolling in, and like, I don't know why it's so fun to me. Because the fog looks sick. He's on the phone with her, and she's like freaking out. She has an idea that the fog is bad. He doesn't know. So he's sitting there chilling, and he's like, wait a second. There's somebody messing around at the door. Like, he's just got this fucking funny attitude, but he ends up getting messed up. But the part that I liked about that was, like, he was trusting all the way until the end, just like, these rascals kind of mindset. Like, what's going on out here? Looked awesome. It really crept in. It was just the perfect, for a horror movie, it was a suspense situation. You got somebody that has no idea what's going on behind them on their phone, and you just see it all coming down. And as a fan of horror, you're like, you just want to see this dude get messed up. But, like, initially watching, you're like, dude.
Don't go into fog.
You got to look back there.
Look out for the fog.
It's coming in fog. He got fogged.
Yeah. There was one part that made me laugh hysterically, and you know my parts. Random parts. Mm-hmm. So it's when Stevie was getting ready to do her air shift on the night of the fog, and this is when her son Andy found that piece of wood on the shore.
Yeah,
and brought it to her and stuff.
Tell him about that, though.
First of all, okay, so Andy goes down to the beach to do a little bit of fish or whatever. So he looks over to the rocks. He goes over there. There's a gold coin there.
Kid looked like he was having the most fun day ever, by the way. Like,
by himself.
So jealous.
Yeah. And then he goes there, but the water hits it, and then it turns into this piece of wood that has some letters on it. I forget what it says. Dane or something.
Dane, yeah.
Dane. So then he runs back and wakes up Stevie to show her the piece of wood. And first of all, I don't have children, okay? But if I work late at nights and I'm trying to sleep and my kid comes in here waking me up, about a piece of wood. Getting smacked, all right? Don't fucking wake me up with a piece of wood. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, kids are good like that.
So eventually she takes it with her to the radio station. And, of course, you know, it starts doing some ghostly stuff. It burns up into flames and all that stuff, and it gets crazy, right? So then Stevie calls Andy and to tell him that don't go on the beach anymore. Don't pick up anything, you know, and stay inside. So after the conversation's over, she goes, Andy, I love you. He goes, yeah, me too. And then he hangs up the phone. He goes, yeah, me too. And hangs up the phone.
It's like one of those thug life moments.
Like, I love you too, or me too. Like, when somebody says, I love you, you say,
I love you too.
I love you too.
Yeah, that's
you know,
the proper.
That's what it is. Okay, not, yeah, me too. Like,
try that next time with your girl.
I love you. Yeah, me too. That's what I was thinking of. Like, say that.
Yeah, me too, by the way. What about what?
I love me too.
So that's your favorite part. Now let's lay this down though, because there's like 6 different kills, correct?
Yeah.
What is your favorite kill?
Let's see. We have the 3 on the ship. Then we have the weather guy. Mm-hmm. The grandma.
Grandma got it too.
The grandma.
Poor grandma.
And then Father Malone at the end, right? He was the 6th.
Yep.
Probably the 6th one. When Father Malone gets it. Because, you know, you thought it was all well and good, and then you just see, you know, the fog start coming in behind him, and then just a sword come up with glowing eyes and just murk him.
Nah.
Didn't see it coming. Because, I mean, the kills aren't graphic, really.
No.
There's no really graphicness in any of it.
That's a Carpenter, you know, little touch.
Basic stabbing, basic, you know, cuts. Nothing too crazy.
Mm-hmm. There's violence behind the kills. They're violent kills, but it doesn't
It's all implied.
John Carpenter just has that beautiful simplicity. Like, I mean,
and sometimes that's better. Sometimes,
I'd say it's a little more than Halloween, but not like a lot more. Just like one setting above Halloween.
Dude, what would you do in that part when they found when they brought back that guy's body from the boat? And the coroner's just sitting there like, yeah, this guy's been underwater for like months. It's like, no, he just went out like 2 days ago. But Jamie Lee Curtis is in there, and then you just see the feet hit the ground and the body come towards you.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's freaky.
Everybody's fear of being in a room with a dead body.
That it comes to life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they found...
And don't say anybody, because everybody listening has been to an open casket funeral at some point. Now, granted, like, you know, all their innards are gone. It's not possible. But you've been in some of that weird situation. Like, you know, growing up as a kid, seeing, like, your dead grandma or something there when you're a kid, you're like, what if she just wakes up or some shit? Like, everybody has that fear.
One more kiss for me!
Don't!
Grandma! Because there'd be some of the family members that would just be and then there would be like, come to me. You know, that it would be a dramatic thing, but I'd be out.
No. 100%.
I can make kiss.
I don't know how coroner's doing it.
Yep, there was some fun kills.
thing.
I liked Dan. Obviously, I liked his kill a lot. The ship guys were fun, too. Those were probably the most brutal.
Yeah. And you just see the ghostly ship, too. Just see it, and you don't see it fully. Just enough to get the idea.
Pretty sick.
He's like, there was a ship here a second ago.
Whoa, it's a big ship.
Where's this ship? It's a pirate ship.
Even though this movie, it's taking place in April, this feels Halloween to me. Maybe it's just the John Carpenter kiss as well, but the fog, that just feels like like October to me. It feels like it's creeping in, and I don't know, the Season of the Witch has got me in that mood because this is literally one of my favorite horror movies. I mean, I say that I love a lot of horror movies, but this is top 50.
Well, yeah, Fog is definitely Halloweenish for sure. And I'd say this, on my way to work recently, we've been getting a little bit of fog. And I passed this graveyard, and it's the graveyard on, you're familiar with it, it's on off Cleves, Warsaw, when you're going towards Glenway, that little graveyard over there.
Oh, yeah.
For the past 3 days, dude, in the morning, there's just been a dense, low thing of fog over the graveyard. It looks so creepy. Looks so cool, too. But
Them is ghosts, baby.
fog is definitely Halloweenish, for sure. Like, you see fog is a part of Halloween.
I agree,
For
man.
sure. For sure.
I want to make these like that. Like how I mean, obviously the audio listeners can't listen, but the video listeners, if you could see the image behind Mark, if I could just like set that up in my yard for like Halloween, because I don't even have sidewalk and I'm up off the yard, so it's just gonna be people driving by, but just have fog rolling out with the red-eyed creatures.
Some people have been doing that with bushes, like just putting like two bulbs, like make them look like eyes in the bushes. I thought that was cool.
Oh, that's a really cool idea.
You never seen that?
Nah.
Dude, I saw it someplace. Somebody did it. Like, all you gotta do is just put two, like, battery-operated lights, red lights in the bushes, and they look like eyes.
I want to try that out, man.
Eyes in the bushes.
That's a good idea. They've got, like, I'm usually not big into, like, the inflatable stuff. I know some people like that, but I saw one that's like a 10-foot Michael Myers, and you're like, well, that's a...
Dude, the inflatables get crazy. Just go to Home Depot, okay? And there's always that little section where they got the huge towers of things. Like, who the fuck would buy this?
But the big Michael Myers, like, you and I don't have little dicks, so we don't need big giant trucks, right? You know, we're not those kind of guys that, like, need big lifted trucks. I might need a lifted Michael Myers. I might need him, though.
Just put them on your roof like the big gorillas from the the car lots. Just keep them up all year. Well, I want to know more things about this movie.
Let's get into it.
Ha ha ho ha he. Hello there. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is a segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now, this is gonna go down how it's always gonna go down. If this is your first time here, I guess I'll give you a little bit of what do you know here for you that may or may not know what's about to happen here. What's gonna happen here is we're gonna tell you things we know about this movie. Now, you may know what we know, you may not what we know, but if you don't know what we know, you're gonna have a we know-gasm. But if you know what we know, you're gonna have a slighter, less intense we know-gasm. But it doesn't matter, you have one of those every day because you're lonely. Now, why don't you tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie, The Fog, 1980?
Look here. So, Adrienne Barbeau, the main actor there, actress, the girl who played Stevie Wayne.
What's her name?
Adrienne Barbeau.
Adrienne Barbeau. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, this lady,
You think people nicknamed her Bobo?
maybe,
Okay.
was actually John Carpenter's girl at the time.
His broad?
Yeah, it was his broad. And she did not smoke cigarettes. But he wanted her to have that old raspy voice and smoke cigarettes. Like for the role. That's what the character looked like. So they trained on how to look while smoking cigarettes. And honestly, she fooled me.
So they trained her on how to fake smoke cigarettes?
Because you know how sometimes in movies you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
That's not how you do it.
No, you can't. You remember when people used to make fun of you for not inhaling?
Yeah.
You tell people, like, you don't even inhale. I am inhaling. No, you're not. There's a difference between inhaled and uninhaled smoke. We can always tell.
Oh, we know.
I thought she was smoking. I didn't notice that. She was trained very well.
I thought the same.
Yeah,
Put
good
her
for
health
her.
at risk.
Good for her. Good for her.
Do you know anything about this movie? The Fog?
Yes, I do. So, there's a radio station in this movie. Of course, it's called KAB. Okay, now everywhere in the movie, everybody's listening to this one station. Now it's a radio. You can get multiple channels on your radio. It's
Sure.
weird how everybody is listening to this one station.
Yeah.
Especially a jazz station. Now, I don't have a problem with jazz. I love jazz.
Sure.
It's very good music here.
Yes.
But there's a reason why they made this station a jazz station. Okay, because it's a movie. Okay,
Yeah,
jazz music is the easiest to get rights to
Oh, like
without
copyright stuff.
without
yeah.
copyright infringement. So you can't just put any music. Okay, so those of you who don't know, there are copyright laws. Okay, so you can't just use any kind of music that you want in any kind of video production.
Gotta
You'll
be
get sued.
expensive. Yes.
Or you gotta buy the rights to it, or get permission. And sometimes people will have to make you pay top dollar to put a certain song in a certain place. But jazz, however, is very cheaply, very budget. It's like the dollar store of music. You get it. So that's why
I've always
It's
been
a
a
jazz
fan
station.
of La Bamba. I think if you put that song in any of your pictures, it's gonna be a good movie.
Mama loves mambo. Na, 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 na. Mama loves mambo. That's not the song you're talking about, is it?
Mumbo number 5.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun.
That
dun,
might be one
dun,
of the
dun, dun,
top
dun.
10 worst songs in the world, but it's like not unlistenable. Like you can listen to that song.
Who doesn't like Mambo number 5?
It's such a bad song when you listen to it. Like it's such a bad song, but such a you can listen to it.
Nah, it's not a bad song.
Go back and listen to it. You can listen I don't know why it was made. I don't know. Like the energy is all over the place. Like it's just a random.
Oh, it's a white people wedding song. That's what it is.
Oh, that's a good point.
Tell me you've never been to a wedding and haven't heard this goddamn song. That's the only place it's played now.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I like the Baja Men Who Let the Dogs Out.
that's
what
a good
classic.
one too.
It's a classical jam. Those fellas, the musical people.
Those
they made a
fellas
great
really
jam.
let the dogs out. You know what I mean? All right. And you know anything else about this movie?
I don't know who's gonna get those dogs, but no, nothing about the movie. That's it. I think we're all fogged out.
All right.
So Ozark, Mark.
Yes.
Here's how I want to lay this down. First off, this is just a little Deborah Hill appreciation moment. A Deborah Hill production means a lot too. It's not just John Carpenter movie, and she passed away in 2005, which super sad. She died very young, but she was a big part of horror, and her name should definitely be mentioned in the top ranks with anybody else, with any of the greats. But a little bit of spicy drama at the time. Her and John Carpenter were together, when they were making Halloween. So they was dating. And
John Carpenter's, he's been all over the place.
Oh, man. My man's just slanging, But then when this movie came out, he started going with, Adrienne Barbeau. And it was fresh. And apparently even, Jamie Lee Curtis was rumored to say that it was, still fresh and a little uncomfortable for everybody. But they all worked past it because John Carpenter, he worked with Deborah Hill for her whole life, their whole career. They worked together, which was cool that they could put the past behind them and not let some weird little thing flare up, fuck up their future, because they made some great horror flicks. I'm glad that they could put differences aside and make this movie. But there was a little bit of spicy love drama, a little soap opera stuff going on.
Everybody thinks these damn kids, they keep switching partners.
Everybody keeps banging. It's that damn hip-hop music. They get together and they're hitting these vape
Them damn
pens.
Sprite commercials.
Hitting these vape pens and twerking.
Yeah. Twerking.
That's just the fun of it all, Mark. And let's be honest. If you're if you're going to pick a natural element to be afraid of, not many people pick the fog. Not many people do. He picks open claims on shit. Like this lucky bastard. Not lucky, but he's smart. Halloween. If you're going to pick any name for a horror movie, Halloween. That was wide open. He's like, nobody has this? Oh, this is mine. Halloween, the fog. That's just he just took some of the best concepts and he just
The
put
thing. It's as basic as it gets.
Put my flag on this mountain.
No.
This is mine now.
Dude, he's taking up all.
Yeah, he just stole the real estate.
It's like skee ball. He's just going for the big one. Everybody's going for that corner. No, I'll just take this. That's fine.
Halloween. Okay, dog. And he did. He crushed it. Very confident guy. Born in Kentucky.
Well, it's good, man. But those, it's the simple things. But he picks things that are everyday things. That's what creates fear. Is something that's involved in your life. Everybody has seen fog.
Yeah.
Everybody has gone through fog at some point.
Shit, even heavy rain is hard to drive through. Fog is nuts if you get some crazy fog.
Dude, oh yeah, fog is scary. Fog itself is scary, especially if you're in a moving vehicle. Okay? That shit's scary. Did you ever drive on the highway and you can't see?
Yeah, freaky.
Too far, and people are idiots and they turn their brights on, which you're not supposed to do in fucking fog, so it makes it even worse. Dog.
Stupid idiots.
We've been driving on our trips when we drove to Florida multiple times.
We went to Florida.
Down there, dude, and that fog, it's so dense, it's scary. Besides, you don't know what's in fog. There could be anything in fog. It's worse than the dark.
When I'm in Florida, I like to get fish. Fish and your grandmother and I, we sing karaoke.
That's what I do in Florida.
I think that's what everybody does in Florida.
Eat fish and sing karaoke, baby. That's the life. And watching John Carpenter flicks on the road to Halloween.
I love his score, though. I mean, can't say it enough.
I
wish.
do too.
Why can't they make scores like this anymore? Why they gotta get all futuristic and shit?
So,
just compose something cool.
His son, I think his name's Cody Carpenter. He worked with them on the latest Halloween movie, which I'm not thrilled about these latest Halloween movies. But his son, up and coming, he does the same kind of shit. And I know he did work on Firestarter, the newer one. Movie was trash, but I heard the score was good. So, in my opinion, it would be nice to see them bring that back because the synth wave is kind of coming back and it works, dude. Even A Nightmare on Elm Street, that's one of my favorite parts of Elm Street is just when it gets heightened up, dude. That synth is something that's...
Well, that's half the reason why the older movies are scary.
You think it would come off as corny, but it doesn't.
It just it gets you in the right state of mind of what you're supposed to be feeling in that moment. It makes your hair stand up when you hear some of this.
Yep.
That same bell thing's going again in this one. It'll get you going.
Yeah, he knows when to punch it.
Yeah, and it makes you feel uncomfortable in an uncomfortable scene. So it's hard to beat that, But without further ado, we need to go through this portal real quick and go to the another realm of the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating.
Like Crash Bandicoot when you'd hop into the different levels?
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
Wow! You made it.
Wow!
Wow!
Booga booga.
Ooga booga. Dum, dum. That was part of my childhood. You just unlocked something in me. But anyway, welcome to the world famous one and only, one of a kind, only one on earth, Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, where the one and only Christian Rapey over there is going to be the Prince of Horror. He is your guide. He is the man himself. He made this great horror system of a rating. So we're going to base this on a horror movie scale, not a movie in general, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this as a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories are worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1 point for a total of
10 points altogether.
Yeah, that's right. Now, let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
Dog.
Just get it out of the way. It's a 3. You know you're going to say it.
I know. It is. There's just big-time actors. Like, this isn't even personal opinion. I mean, Tom Atkins, Jamie Lee Curtis, Janet Leigh, Hal Holbrook, just a litany of fucking great actors. There's a lot of them, and they all work well. They really do. You got to give them credit in this. When anybody could take an unbelievable, like, real-life situation, obviously weather is real, but ghost pirates are not. So when you can take a situation and make it at all believable and be convincing, that helps. But these were real deal actors, so it's a 3 for me. It's a 3. Is it a 3 for you? Would you say 3?
I don't know actors that much, but I mean, superstar cast. Everybody worked well. You know, it was perfect. So you can't get better than this. You can't ask for a better cast for this movie, I don't think. Everybody worked well. Everybody was believable. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 3 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
So the 6 kills, they were fun, but they weren't too graphic. So this is feeling like a 1. They were cool enough for it to be a 1 and not a half a point, I think, because they were coming in with like what do you call those, like scythes? Those like big circle blades? I don't know what the hell you call those.
Sickles.
Sickles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just taking people out with those. It was fun to watch, but a lot of it was implied. So definitely a 1 feels right for me.
Yeah. I mean, they are brutal, but you don't see any of the brutalness. A lot of them are repetitive, but we have 6 in there, so. You know, and they do, when they happen, it's important. So 1 is good for me. So that is 4 out of 10 so far here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the third and final 3-point category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
This is a tough category for me. It's either going to be a half a point or a 1 point for me. I don't know if modern audiences would be terrified of this or be afraid of this, or if it's just more of a fun watch. Because the town's trying to overcome. Obviously, a super young kid might be freaked out by it, but I'm thinking half a point probably on fear. It's not too creepy, but it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I said previously, I mean, a kid will be scared of any movie. Mm-hmm. If the child is young enough, it can be scared of anything because their mind is really what's going to freak them out. Because once they see fog, they're going to get scared. But that's what you get a half a point automatically for just being a horror movie because somebody's going to be scared of it.
Yep.
But like you said, yeah, this is just a fun watch. You know, it's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it feels like a Road to Halloween movie. Honestly, it's a comfort watch for me. So I think for those of you who haven't seen this, because I know there's quite a few of you who, which, bless your heart, seriously, I love you guys so much for watching the movies every week and keeping up with the episode, because that's all we hope to do is give you 3 hours of entertainment out of your week, you know, an hour of listening to us, and then, you know, maybe 2 hours of watching the movie, or however long it takes you to get through all the shit. We appreciate that, and if anybody gets turned on to this movie for the first time, I'm like really pumped about that, because obviously you're into horror movies if you're listening to us, and you probably consider yourself somewhat like, you know, a horror aficionado or, you know, a horror fan. You gotta get this one under your belt. Like, that's not like a gatekeepery comment. I'm just saying, like, this movie is underrated, but like gold with all these actors and such a cool story. I mean, legendary even behind the camera. John Carpenter, obviously Deborah Hill, Tommy Lee Wallace. Just the whole band of merry men. It's like, I don't know, like, it's like if Big Daddy, if nobody had seen that out of the Adam Sandler movies, it's like, all right, if you're going to talk about all of them, like, you need to see this one too. Like, it's just like in there, but it's not talked about really.
This is you're going to enjoy it. It's a great, easy watch. Great comfort, great movie to watch. So that is 4.5 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
For sure.
Yep. Very rewatchable. easily rewatchable.
Yeah.
Easily. So that is a total of 5.5 out of 10 for The Fog, 1980. John Carpenter's The Fog. That's what it says on the opening credits. So
I like how he does that.
Yeah. It's like, this is my shit.
I own Halloween.
Yeah.
I own The Fog. I own The Thing. I own it all.
I own the basket. The laundromat.
That's a good deal. So, as always, Mark, well, not as always, because sometimes we forget to do it, but I would like to hit a parental rating with this one. Can we hit the music? Can I hit the buzzer?
You just hit it.
I missed you, mister. Mr. Ozark.
Tell him if they're old enough to watch that scary stuff. It's for the parents who give up.
All right, boys and girls. If it's your first time to this segment, this is quite simple. A lot of folks say, hey, we want movies we can watch with our kids that are scary. So we figure we do you the service of the horror movies that we do cover. We try to let you know maybe an age limit that you can let kids watch them. And this is Ozark's specialty. So I'm going to pass it off to him. Ozark, what are we talking about with this John Carpenter flick? What are we feeling?
Oh, man.
Not too scary.
Nah. Probably like 7.
That feels fair.
I
That feels
don't
really fair.
I don't think any of the parental guidances have been 7 yet. It's not E for everyone. I can definitely see some children's being afraid of the ghost pirates at some point because, kids are afraid of weirder stuff. It's happened to me, too. I was afraid of weird things, too. But, there's no sex, no drugs.
Mm-hmm.
The kills are very implied. You just see minor stabbings and stuff.
Yeah, if your kids are into this shit, they're gonna be.
Yeah, a kid sees more violence in video games and shit like that. So it's no more violence than like a fighting video game or something. So you're gonna be fine with that. Yeah, I'd say like 7.
That's a very fair rating.
Yep, and depending on your child, if you got a little weirdo kid like Christian Ramey that's been fed into horror, you can even go lower.
I've always introduced it as kind of like, isn't this cool? Like, isn't this kind of like someone made that? Like I try to, like, I don't know. Like I said, she was watching those little weird YouTube videos. They're kids, but they're like kids' YouTube channels where they had like a Chucky doll and an Annabelle doll. And she was a little bit like, is Chucky real? I'm like, no. Like, I showed her the video of like all the 10 dudes controlling him with like a robot. I was like, it takes 10 guys for him to move. He's a big robot. Isn't that cool? Isn't that kind of cool? Like, wouldn't you like to work that robot? Like, I think it's just, if a kid gets real freaked out by a movie, pull up the behind the scenes on YouTube.
Yep.
Show them like, yeah, isn't that sweet? Like,
Yeah, now it is. You couldn't do that back in the day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You were just stuck with it.
Yeah, he was just like, it's not real. Go to bed.
I think that's where like the Fangorias and stuff really came into place, because it's like you could face the fear and you're like, man, these people were like able to make something so powerful. Like, dude, whatever you did in that makeup chair ruined my childhood for like 5 summers, dude. Like, I couldn't walk up the stairs without running for my whole childhood because of this. And it was just somebody in a makeup room. Chances are they had a couple to drink, or maybe they were smoking one. Like, you know what, man, we're going to do this, and boom, childhood ruined. And for that, I really like that. But that's my approach. If your kids ever get freaked out by the shit, try to show them the behind the scenes. Try to show them reveal the curtain of like, these are human beings who like weird stuff. Because sometimes the kids that are most freaked out by it end up being the ones that like the weird stuff the most as they grow up. Because they're like, you conquer your fear in a way.
Yeah.
And something like, I mean, that's why I love movies like Monster Squad and stuff. I mean, something about like my imagination at like 10, 11. I mean, even like, let's just say like 8 through 12. If you're like, yeah, man, he's a Frankenstein creature and he has wings and I'd be like, what? Like, my brain would it would be just right there with you. I mean, it still is, because I'm grown up and I'm a horror nerd, but at that age, you just have that imagination, and I appreciate how movies can really tap in on that, like how Monster Squad did. You just that vibe of when you're a young kid and you just love horror. Even though you're afraid of it, it creeps you out, but you want to like conquer that fear. A fog's a good icebreaker. That's a good starter for kids to get into horror movies, I would say.
Yeah, it kind of gets they're
Good
getting
test.
in they're getting in ankle deep there.
Yeah.
They're getting in there.
Testing the waters.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick. We don't have a lot of time left, but I forgot to ask you this. How pissed would you be if you came back looking for your gold and it was stolen by a church and they made a giant cross out of it?
Right. It's so symbolic, too.
Where the fuck am I going to spend this?
Like, right, it's so
You
symbolic,
had all
too.
gold coins and shit. Like, you could have spent it. Oh, that's like, no. Now you just got this one solid T.
Gold tee. Wear it around your neck. That's how he was trying to go out. Now, if you've enjoyed most of this episode, which...
Most of it.
Yeah, I
What
think...
parts didn't you like?
I think if you've made it this far, it's obviously something palpable. It's something easily digestible to your body, and you like it. You like putting us in your body at the same fucking time. And if you would like to see us keep putting our bodies in your body week after week without commercials or any delay, you could support our show by going to patreon.com/sloppyhorror. On there, for cheaper than a cup of coffee, you could support us every month and get a bunch of bonus content, bonus episodes we put up on there. We've been reading spooky stories lately. Somebody else wrote me and said that whistle one fucked them up. That whistle story we told. Very fun stuff, folks. We're talking, $3-5 a month, something.
And there's well, we have about 60 plus regular episodes of the Sloppy Horror Podcast, and we are almost getting to 30 episodes on the Patreon. So there's a lot of content there if you haven't gone there yet. So
Yes,
I mean,
and if you can't do something like that, trust me and Ozark Mark when we understand. Times are hard, so we get it, and we appreciate you just being here week after week. And the best thing that you guys can do is tell all of your horror friends or even your movie friends that like to be educated on spooky shit, especially this time of year. Point them to our show.
point them in this direction.
Point them to Ozark first. They'll like him more. And
No,
then
they
show
won't.
me. Well,
No, they
will.
won't.
They're not gonna like either one of us probably.
No.
And that's okay. That's okay. But seriously, guy, I know that sounds like the lamest shit to say because I don't want to sound like one of those like, all right, guys, smash that fucking like button. Make sure you I hate the inflection of those people. But as a growing channel, if you guys watch on YouTube every week and you're not subscribed to our channel, what the hell are you doing? All right? If you're watching the video, throw a like on there. All right? Throw a like on there or a comment. Let us know where you're coming from. We want to hear from everybody. You hate the episode? Let us know. Love it? Let us know. Want to see something, see us cover another movie? Let us know in the comments. You enjoy us on Apple, Spotify, whatever, be sure to throw down a rating. Do something like that. That really helps us out big time. So that's all we can ask from you folks.
Hey, the more we grow, the more we get to 2 episodes a week here,
Yeah, and I'm definitely more of a grower than a shower. It's just cold out sometimes, You got to get the blood moving. And that's a nice little treat you folks can take home with yourself. What you do with it, I don't care.
Twist it till it turns purple.
That's the old-fashioned method. Can you imagine beating off in like 1700s, just like no porn, like no lotion or anything? You're just dry rubbing it like underneath your canvas outfit to like your thoughts.
Dude, I would at least use some like butter or something. They use something.
You would hope.
What do you think the first lubricant was to be used?
Saliva.
That's probably accurate. Okay,
Okay, outside of bodily
outside,
fluids. Okay.
outside of bodily liquids.
I'm definitely thinking some kind of animal fat. Butter. And, something from animal fat for sure.
Yeah, something slick.
Oh, yeah, they're doing some nasty shit.
It's probably mud.
Rubbing fruits all over their privates.
getting way out of left field here. This is going down a bad road. But that's the kind of stuff that you can find on the bonus episodes. Sorry, that's the last time I'm saying it. This is the Sloppy Horror Podcast. Come back next week, boys and girls. Guess what month we're going to be in? Wait, are we still in September? Is there 1 week left of September? What is today? It's the 22nd. So it comes out 20. Damn it. There's one more episode in September till we hit October. Never mind. I'm sorry. Jumped the gun a little bit there.
Rockin' till you drop. Dancing till your feet fall off.